What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part today. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video we'll be taking a look at an anime that's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, and it sort of comes and goes on Netflix, and that would be Knights of Sidonia. Okay, so this anime was released back in 2014, and it's sort of a mecha anime where we see these giant robots fight in space. And honestly, this is only one of two mecha anime that I've watched from beginning to end. I don't know why, but I've tried watching more mecha anime, and for whatever reason, I rarely get hooked on. And the more I think about it, I should be able to find one pretty easy because this whole subgenre is right up my alley. Sci-fi futuristic worlds where we see these giant robots fighting, it seems like a no-brainer that I would overall like this topic. However, the only two anime that I've been able to watch and pretty much enjoy is Gargantia and Knights of Sidonia, which I will make a Gargantia review at some point. But anyway, right now I'm looking for some new mecha anime to get into, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's get into Knights of Sidonia. Like I said, this anime was released back in 2014 and is actually a Netflix original where we follow humanity who is living on this giant ship/space station called Sidonia and is actually on the run from a parasitic alien spore. And the only way to combat these things are with giant flying robots. And at first glance, looking at this show, I was already hooked on because I immediately had this thought going in my head. Holy crap, it's freaking Halo, but with giant robots. Seriously, if you played Halo and you've watched Knights of Sidonia, you'll be able to see some similarity between these two. Like Sidonia sort of reminds you of like the Pillar of Autumn, and these parasitic spores sort of remind you of like the Flood. Anyway, the show revolves around this young boy who's sort of a diamond in the rough because when we first see him, he starts coming to the upper levels of Sidonia just to steal enough food for him to survive in the lower levels. But when the ship is under attack by these parasitic spores, everyone is called to arms in order to defend Sidonia. And this kid just so happens to know how to pilot this legendary mech with flying colors and is able to save the day. And then from there on, this kid's put into a military academy where students learn how to pilot these giant robots. And that's pretty much it. Now, while I love watching the action scenes where we see these giant robots fly through space, dodge asteroids, and use giant guns in order to kill these parasites, there are still some things that kind of bug me, particularly the characters. Now, you'd think an anime about giant robots fighting aliens would at least show some restriction on how loony the show can get. Well, some of these characters push the boundary of lunacy when we encounter a nurse who is a talking bear with a robotic arm, a girl who can morph her body into any shape or form based on her boyfriend's desires, and we even have a talking balloon animal-like creature in the second half of the season. So while I enjoy the action and overall story of this series, the corniness of some of these characters kind of leaves a bitter aftertaste in my mouth, but thankfully the action is able to keep me hooked on. And with only 24 episodes, this anime is perfectly balanced. With that being said, I am a little bit upset that there hasn't been any updates for future episodes. I'm guessing that when Netflix saw how some of the reviews were a bit negative, they decided to pull the plug on this entire series. Which is a shame because while this first season had a complete overall story with a strong opening and satisfying ending, there were several plot points that were left unresolved. Now, I'm sure that these things would have been resolved in future seasons, but with no word on Netflix continuing this series, I guess we'll just have to either forget about these plot points or just have to imagine of what would have happened in future seasons. Thank God for fanfics. Anyway, if you're looking for an anime where you get to watch giant robots fight flood-like spores from Halo, by all means, go ahead and watch this show. But just remember, we only have this one season, so you might want to lower your expectations. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was my quick review of Knights of Sidonia. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can get the latest updates from this channel. I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.